Yeah.
Okay, good morning everybody. So we're continuing with the discussion on the play Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare. We are in Act 2, Scene 1, line 211. Act 2, Scene 1, line 211. That is on page 81 of the PDF. Okay? So, we'll just go over where we stop. So, there is a group of conspirators which meets in the house of Marcus Brutus, and they discuss the assassination of Julius Caesar, which they're going to carry out the next morning. So, and they discuss the various possibilities, and finally one of them, Decius Brutus, says that if Caesar is unwilling to come to the Capitol is the houses of parliament in ancient Rome. If Caesar was unwilling to come to the Capitol, then he could persuade him. So that's where we stop. We are at line 211, and Decius says, and I will bring him to the Capitol. So Caesar is sure to come to the Capitol to meet his end at the hands of the conspirators. So next, Cassius says, nay, we will all of us be there to fetch him. So Cassius says, all the conspirators, there are about 7 or 8 of them, all of them will go to Caesar's palace to fetch Caesar to the capital. Okay? So Brutus, he decides by what time they should meet at Caesar's palace. And Brutus says, by the 8th hour. 8th hour means by 8 a.m. By the 8th hour. Is that the uttermost? Is that the maximum? Shall we meet at 8 a.m. near Caesar's palace? So, Cinna says, be that the uttermost, be that the maximum limit. 8 a.m. is the maximum limit that we can give, and fail not then. And we should not fail in our attempt, because if the attempt fails once, Caesar will never rush them again, and they'll never get an opportunity to assassinate him. So they should do it. They should assassinate Caesar in their very first attempt. So Metellus says, Caius Ligarius doth bear Caesar hard, who rated him for speaking well of Pompey.
Text is fine. Yes, sir.
So, on the page, Metellus himself says, Caius Ligarius doth bear Caesar hard, who rated him for speaking well of Pompey. I wonder none of you have thought of him. So, there is a senator in Rome called Caius Ligarius, and Caesar has a very, he has a very hard opinion of Caius Ligarius, because Caius Ligarius spoke well of Pompey. Pompey was one of the contenders to the throne of Rome, along with Julius Caesar. And Caesar and Pompey had a battle, and they fought for, and Caesar defeated not only Pompey, but also the sons of Pompey. So, Caius Ligarius spoke well of Pompey, and Caesar has a very hard opinion of Caius Ligarius. So the question is that should we induct Caius Ligarius into our group of conspirators? Should we induct Caius Ligarius into our group? I wonder none of you have thought of him, says Metellus. Brutus says, now good Metellus, go along by him. He loves me well, and I have given him reasons. Send him but thither, and I will fashion him. So Marcus Brutus says, go along by him, go and try and see what he thinks of this plot to assassinate Caesar. Brutus says, he loves me well, and I have given him reasons. So there have been some transactions between Caius Ligarius and Brutus, and Caius Ligarius thinks well of Brutus. Send him but hither. Send Caius Ligarius to me, and I will fashion him. Fashion him means I will persuade him, I will convince him to join our group. Right? I'll fashion his mind so that he begins to want to assassinate Caesar. So Cassius says, the morning comes upon us. So it is now slowly, the sun is slowly dawning. It's now about 4 or 5 in the morning. On the very horizon, on the very tip of the horizon, we see some grey streaks of the dawn. So the morning comes upon us. We'll leave you, Brutus, and friends, disperse yourself, but all remember what you have said, and show yourselves true Romans. Right? So Cassius gives one final exhortation. Exhortation is one final rousing speech, and he says, friends, disperse yourselves. Let us now separate. Let us go our separate ways. But all of us should remember what each has said. All of you should remember what each has said, and tomorrow you must show yourself true Romans. True Romans means we're doing this not to assassinate the person Caesar. We're not doing this to assassinate, we're not carrying out a personal vendetta, we're not carrying out some personal revenge. It is for the good of Rome. It is for the good of the empire of Rome that we are doing it. Let us show ourselves true Romans. Brutus, good gentlemen, look fresh and merry. Okay, let's get some energy into this. Let not our looks put on our purposes. So let us not reveal what we are going to do by our looks. See, often the way a person looks or the way a person the expression in his face shows his intention. For example, he may have a violent intention, like this, right? But what Brutus says is, let not our looks put on our purposes. Our purpose is to assassinate Caesar. Let us not show that expression. Let us not reveal our intentions by our expressions, but bear it as our Roman actors do. In Rome at that time, drama was a great art form. So as Roman actors do, let us carry this out as actors with untied spirits and formal constancy. Roman actors, they played their parts with untied spirits. They did it without being tired and formal constancy. And so good morrow to you everyone. So good morning to you everyone. All except Brutus. So from one side of the stage, all the conspirators exit, except Brutus. Now Brutus is alone by himself, and he looks at his servant boy, Lucius. Lucius, fast asleep, it is no matter. Enjoy the honey heavy dew of slumber. So the servant boy Lucius is deep in sleep. And how does Brutus describe sleep? the honey heavy dew of slumber. Slumber means sleep. So to sleep, yeah, it is a very sweet, a very refreshing thing. And young boys, they often sleep for hours together. Okay, so enjoy the honey heavy dew of slumber. Thou hast no figures, no fantasies, which busy care draws in the brains of men. So Buddha says it says that Lucius has no figures or fantasies which draw busy cares in the brains. So Lucius doesn't have those intentions which men have. Young age, boyhood is the age of innocence, where you don't have any care, where you just you just go along with whatever happens, without a thought for anything, no cares, no worries. So, but by contrast, what is the mind of Brutus himself? What is his mind like? It is full of worry and anxiety. What will happen? After all, he is plotting to assassinate an emperor. So he must be feeling extremely tense and apprehensive about what may happen, what will happen, and so on and so forth. So Lucius, on the other hand, has no figures nor fantasies, which busy care draws in the minds of men. So what does Brutus care about? He cares more about the Roman Empire, right? The whole empire is his province of his thought, So, therefore, sleepest thou so sound. So, because you don't have any worries, you sleep so well, right? So, here we are given the description of sleep. It is called the honey heavy dew of slumber. And in another play, in another of Shakespeare's plays, Shakespeare describes sleep in the following way: sleep which knits up the raveled sleeve of care. Right? See, this is the sleeve. Raveled sleeve is when it becomes all tangled up like this. Now, when the mind is upset, when the mind is agitated, it is full of care and anxiety. What knits up, what smoothens out the mind again, it is sleep. So we find many such, proverbial statements in Shakespeare's plays, right? So incidentally, I am giving that parallel example. So because you see, here it describes sleep or slumber, and there are many such descriptions of normal human happenings. So if we are worried or if we are full of something, some problems, then sleep will knit up the raveled sleeve of care. Right? So that's what we learn. Right? So therefore thou sleepest so sound, says Brutus. Now enter Portia. Portia is Marcus Brutus's wife. Right? Now remember, it's about 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. in the morning, and as a caring wife, Portia is full of concern for her husband and his nightly vigil. He stayed up at night, vigil. He's kept awake throughout it. So what is on his mind? That's what Portia is worried about. Enter Portia. Portia, Brutus, my lord. Brutus turns. Portia, what mean you? Wherefore rise you now? Why do you rise at this hour? 3 or 4, 4 or 5 in the morning. Wherefore rise you now? It is not for your health, thus to commit our weak condition to the raw cold morning. So, it is not for our health, it is unhealthy for people to commit their weak condition. After all, humans, they may have control over mankind may have control over the whole world, over all the other animals and other living organisms. But as individuals, we are very frail and weak. So the weak human should not expose himself to the raw, cold morning, the chill of the dawn. You should not expose himself. So that's what Brutus did. He asked, why are you awake at this time? Portia explains herself, no, nor for yours neither. So even you, Brutus, my Lord, should not expose yourself to the chill of the morning. You ungently, Brutus, stole from my bed. So the married, where the couple sleeps together. You have ungently stolen from my bed. Stolen means you sneaked away. Sometime at around 12 when Brutus arrived, he had left the bed, right? So Portia is worried. You have ungently, Brutus, stolen from my bed. And yesterday night at supper, you suddenly arose. At supper, when they were having supper, Brutus suddenly rose from the dining table and walked about. He walked about the dining room, musing and sighing. Musing is thinking. He's lost in thought. And he was sighing. Sighing is a sign of worry. Like when you give expulsion of breath. Right? So something was on his mind, something was troubling him. That's what Portia's noticed. Musing and sighing. With your arms across. You kept your arms like this, or at the back where they have been folded. So he lost deep in thought, and he was, thinking about something, some way out. He was trying to find a way out of some problem. With your arms across, and when I asked you what the matter was, Portia asked him, "What's the matter?" You stared upon me with ungentle looks. So Brutus, caught up in his problem, stared at Portia with an ungentle look. He looked at her angrily, looked at her like this. So he's caught up in his problem. I urged you further. So she asked him again what the matter was. She urged him further to explain, to talk about it, give vent, V-E-N-T, to his problem. You talk about your problem, some of it you will unburden yourself of the problem. So why don't you talk about it, my Lord? She asked. Then you scratched your head, and too impatiently stamped with your foot. You stamped your foot hard upon the ground, as though you cannot bear the emotion of that associated with that problem. Yet I insisted. She still insisted upon to know what the problem was. Yet you answered not. Still you did not answer. But with an angry wafture of your hand, gave sign for me to leave. Wafture is like this. With an angry wafture like this. This is a wafture. Right? This is a wafture. With an angry wafture of your hand, gave sign for me to leave. So he said, "Leave me, Portia." So I did, fearing to strengthen that impatience which seemed too much enkindled. So she didn't want to agitate him further. She did not want to strengthen that impatience which seemed already too enkindled. And withal, hoping it was but an effect of your humor. So Portia hoped that it's just an effect of his mood. It's only a mood is caught up in, which sometime hath this hour with every man. So such moods, such irrational moods, come upon most men, one time or the other. It's not always normal for a person to be always, rational and calm. Sometimes irrational moods do come upon a person. So, Portia says, I was hoping it was but an effect of your mood, which sometimes hath this hour with every man. Sometimes it comes upon every man. It will not let you eat, nor talk, nor sleep. That mood, whatever is on your mind, will not let you eat, nor talk, nor sleep. And could it work so much upon your shame as it hath Much prevailed on the condition I should not know you. If it had affected what you look, your physical shape, I would not know you. If it had prevailed, if it had, and it couldn't work so much upon your shape. Shape means the physical shape. If that worry had eaten away, that problem had made you thin, right? I should not know you. I would not recognize you. Dear my Lord, make me acquainted with your cause of grief. So let me know what is on your mind. Speak about it. Brutus says, I am not well in health, and that is all. I'm feeling a bit unwell, that is all. Portia, Brutus is wise, and were he not in well health, he would embrace the means to come back. So Portia says, Brutus is a very wise man. If he were unwell, he would take steps to recover his health. He would embrace the means to come by his health. Brutus, why? So I do. Good, Portia, go to bed. Right? Portia, is Brutus sick? And is it physical to walk unbraced and suck up the humors of the damp morning? So, is it physical to walk about in the chill of the morning and suck up? Breathe in, suck up means breathe in the damp humors, the dampness of the morning air. What? Is Brutus sick? And will he steal out of his wholesome bed? The bed, of course, is the place where you wrap yourself up in blankets, keep yourself warm. Right? So, will he steal out of his wholesome bed to dare the wild contagion of the night? Contagion means there's something in the night time which is unhealthy. At night time, there's a contagion. Contagion means almost a disease which is transmitted in the air, right? At night time. So will he come out of his wholesome bed to dare to face the wild, unhealthy night air, to dare the wild contagion of the night, and tempt the roomy and unpurged air to add unto his sickness. So if Brutus is unhealthy, will he tempt the night, chill night air, the damp, unhealthy night air to add to his sickness? No, my Brutus, you have some sick offense within your mind. You have something on your mind, and that is making you sick. Which by the right and virtue of my place. What is our place? As the better half of Brutus. They are one couple, right? Which by the right and virtue of my place, I ought to know. As your wife, I ought to know what's on your mind. And upon my knees I charm you. Upon my knees I charm you by my once commended beauty. By all your vows of love, and that great vow which did incorporate and make us one, that you unfold to me yourself, your heart, why you are heavy, and what men tonight have had this thought to you. So I charm you, I conjure you, I'm trying to persuade you by my once commended you. Once upon a time, now you Portia's middle age. Once upon a time, she was one of the great beauties of Rome. That beauty was much commended, it was much talked about. By my once commended beauty, by all your vows of love, which you did swear to me when we were young, by all your vows of love, and that great vow which did incorporate and make us one. The great vow is the vow of marriage, the oath of marriage. That made us one, that you unfold to me. Unfold means what is on your mind, you unfold it. Right? Unfold to me yourself, your heart, why your way. Unfold to me, says Portia. To me, I am yourself, your half, I am half of you. Why you are heavy and what men tonight have had resort to? Who are the people who came to see you at night? For here have been some 6 or 7. Tonight I have noticed that 6 or 7 people have come to our house who did hide their faces even from the darkness. They did hide their faces even from the darkness. They hid their faces like this with their clothes, right? So they hid their faces with their clothes, and I want to know who they are, says Portia. Okay, so now we're on line 278 of Act 2, Scene 1, and we'll stop there. And we'll continue in the next one. Thank you.